What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As I'm blinding myself because I'm falling over. Oh my goodness. So last video we got the bay painted, we got it all taken care of and whatnot. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and get the brake booster back on. So after that is on, I'm gonna start trying to kind of put some of the hard lines back where they're supposed to go against the firewall and stuff. Put my little grommet across the top, my little rubber seal back on. And then I'm going to start trying to wire tuck this. Now, I don't know which wires or whatever I'm going to have to extend. What's nice about these Miatas, though, is they already have holes here, wherever it went. Holes back here for you to shove the harness through. So it really shouldn't be that bad. And some of the connectors will already fit through there, I would assume. So I'm going to try and get this wire tucked if I can. And then I'm also going to re-lume the harness. So I bought some new lume. I got plenty of electrical tape and just kind of rewrap it, make it look cleaner, more neat. And I even ordered those arrowhead zip ties that you see, like that are all over the chassis, the little non-threaded holes in your engine bay where zip ties are, and it's like clips onto those types of zip ties. I found them on eBay. It was like 100 of them for like $8. So I don't have them yet. Still waiting on them to show up. But that way the harness will hopefully at least be routed between tonight and tomorrow. And that way once the zip ties come in, I can clean it all up. So I went and I got most of the components put back together. I got the booster in, got the power steering reservoir in, I got the lines bolted back up. I got those lines bolted back up, that little cover thing bolted back up, windshield wiper motor put back on. So now I think I'm pretty much free to start working on the harness and stuff. And came in here with a little paintbrush and cleaned that up where it was red still, and that looks good now. So yeah, I went to Harbor Freight earlier when I was getting a spray gun, got some more of these things, the loom, and then I got plenty of electrical tape to rewrap it all. Now some of this I'm gonna try and depin. I'm gonna have to obviously open the harness up and kind of stretch everything out, kind of see where it all goes. And if it fits through the hole, awesome. If not, I'll try and depin it. I don't really have a depinning tool. I have a little pick tool, but I don't know if it'll be good enough. But yeah, that's all that's left. Back out here the next day now. I'm gonna get my razor blade, start cutting open some of this harness. So, let's see, I got some zip ties. Holding this all together because when I was painting it, I needed it out of the way. Some of these wires I am going to just be kind of not cutting loose or getting rid of. I'm going to kind of just fold it back in a loom and then tape over it. Like, for example, the horn. My horn, for whatever reason, does not work on this car. Fuses are all good, so it's going to be an issue with the wiring somewhere. And I don't really need a horn right now, but I don't want to cut this wire out for the horn, so I'm going to just kind of fold it back on itself and loom it in there, so that way I don't, so that way if I ever want to go put it back, I can put it back. Just got to open the harness up and do it like that. So pretty much all I'm going to be doing is, obviously you see all this old loom here, and I'm going to just open it all up, take all this old plastic and tape off, throw it away, and put some new stuff on there. I got new electrical tape, and like I showed you guys, I got the new loom. Should be pretty simple. Obviously this is a lot of the headlight stuff. So this, I believe, is the connector that goes to the engine harness. This right here is for the brake, right there. Turn signal, bumper signal, which is its own little harness right here. Yeah, horn. This is my MAF sensor, which whenever I order my new ECU, my speedy unit, this gets plugged in with a clip so that way I can bypass the MAF. This is my diagnostics plug. So it's all pretty much self-explanatory. I'm new to this, so I'm used to Honda harnesses, but this is all pretty self-explanatory. A lot of it is only single style connectors, like no two connectors on here are really the same thing, so it's kind of hard to mess this up. I just accidentally cut the ground wire for the headlight. You see it's kind of like connected in here the way they did it in line. Well, they had it kind of like folded over all weird. So when I was cutting open the harness loom, I accidentally snagged it. So I gotta solder that back together really quick. But other than that, just making steady progress. I don't want to bore you guys with 20 minutes of me just opening loom and a bunch of time lapse of that. So I'll get this soldered up, I'll get the rest of this harness opened up, and then after the harness is opened up, I gotta try and dig through some pictures to try and figure out where exactly this all routes, because I don't know which plug it is. Of course I can't find it now. This plug down here, I don't know where this one goes. This looks like an engine plug of some sort, but I can't remember and I can't find a connector on the engine for it. So I gotta try and find some pictures, see if I can figure out where that goes. And so I can bolt up my little relay thing and then bolt my headlights in, so that way I can start routing it. Obviously I need to have everything in place for the most part, at least mocked up, so I can mock up the length that I need. But yeah, essentially, just yeah, I don't know. I got some of the harness de-loomed all the way back to pretty much the firewall. I'm gonna kind of take the easy way out, and I'm gonna just drill this hole out a little bit. I tried starting to de-pin stuff, but I just don't have the right tool for it, and I don't want to break my connectors. So this plug is the biggest of the plugs, and it just barely is too small for that. So I'm gonna just drill this out, hog it out a little bit with this step bit, and it should be okay, just right in the corners. So I'm gonna need both hands for this. There we go. Just had to hog it out just a little bit. Didn't even chip the paint, so we're good now. I should be able to feed pretty much all the rest of these connectors. This other black 6-pin one, I still don't know where it goes, but it should fit through there sideways just fine. And my zip ties actually just came in the mail today too. So these things are a lifesaver when it comes to doing pretty much any wire tucking, or I mean even just cleaning up your wiring. These are those Arrowhead zip ties. I got them on eBay for like $8, got 100 of them. And they work fantastic. Let's try and get the rest of this section of harness through here. Got all this stuff out through here, so I'm gonna just hang that over there. Now I can worry about tucking in the cruise control bit of wiring. I'm gonna just fold it back on itself. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna pull it out here and lube it in with this since I'm not gonna need it. And if I do need it, there is holes. I can just bring it through here, repin the wires into here if I ever put cruise control back in here, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, this was pretty darn easy. Hopefully the other side goes as smooth like that as well. So what I like to do to keep it nice and tight and organized, I like taking little bits of electrical tape and looming the wire in, or wrapping the wires nice and taut at different spots. That way you don't have to try and fit a mess of wiring into the loom when you loom it. You just got these nice tight little strands of wire, and that way you don't have to worry about it. You can use zip ties too, but then you have to worry about it being poked and stuff. So electrical tape definitely works better. And just like that, that's all nice and neat. Now I can lube it in with that, or tape it in with this stuff, and then throw some loom on it, and once it's all loomed up, taped up, then I can throw some zip ties on it and tie it in with these holes that I got right here. Well, I got the majority of this side of the harness wrapped up. I just got to sort out the last little ends there for the turn signals. I might have to fold some of it back or tuck some of it up. I have to put the headlights and turn signals and stuff in and kind of mock it up. So right now I'm going to just go ahead and throw a zip tie or two on here and tie up this end of the harness. But yeah, these things are pretty darn neat, I'm telling you guys. You just slap them in there, just like that, and then bada boom. Nice factory looking harness. If harnesses were tucked from the factory. Bam. Clip your ends, don't be nasty. There you go. Not super hard. Good as new. Now I'm gonna cut up some hose and put it in here. This harness shouldn't really rub at all, and I do have loom and thick tape over right here, but just to be on the safe side, I am gonna throw a little bit of a rubber hose inside this little thing to make my own grommet. So made some more progress. Got this all tied up. I had to rearrange it a little bit, put some hose in there. I got this. I'm gonna relocate the bracket. I'm gonna modify it. This is the bracket. It normally sits here. I don't like that ugly, and I don't want to route the harness there, so I got the harness kind of tucked in here. So I'm gonna just modify the little bracket to mount the diagnostics box just right here. It should still clear the hood totally fine. I got my MAF wire here, and then I got my brake line there. I put the relays back up so it's nice and clean. But right now I'm working on the headlight harness. So I couldn't get this thing depinned, but I did reuse the grommet off of this light. But you do have to extend the headlight harness. So that's what I'm working on right now. I just had some extra wiring off an old harness that I've been cutting up anyway. So I am working on extending this. Little Smirnoff ice screwdriver things are actually pretty good. If you like orange juice, that is. So I've been at this thing for like 4 hours now, and I definitely gotta say, I am not the fastest at this because this is like my first time doing my own on my own wire tuck. Honestly, I'm pretty stoked of how it's turning out. This right side, this driver's side, is looking pretty mint so far. Basically done. I just gotta finish bolting up the hood latch cable. I got the headlight harnesses all spliced in, so really all I gotta do now is put the headlight in, put the fender on, make sure everything clears, and then once I get the bumper on, I can kind of figure out where this whole turn signal stuff is gonna go. If I have to like shorten it, like kind of tuck it back in there somehow. Making progress though. This is just a lot of work. Driver's side is fully done now. All that's left is to just put the bumper on and plug these in, and then I can just kind of tuck them up there as I need them. But I obviously got to tighten down the fender too. It's hand tight because I got to take the wheel off or turn the wheel to get the bolt that's way in there. So that's how it is. Headlight harness is all connected. Fan switch. I may have to extend the fan wire off of the fan, but I don't know. I don't remember how long I left it. But AC switch, fan switch, or condenser fan, whatever. And then headlight motor, and it's all good. And then obviously just this, which will be sitting like right about there, or like that or whatever, but not too bad. This side might be a little bit more tricky because it actually does look like there is some bigger connectors on this side, but I don't remember which ones all go to the fuse box. This one goes to some weird metal plate that's right here that I gotta figure out what it goes to. If I don't need it, I'm gonna just tuck it to the side. These ones are definitely fuse box. This is wiper motor. Yeah, wiper motor. So I'll just relume that one and put it there. This one goes to something. I don't know. Some relays. Yeah, I don't know. This side will take me a little bit longer, which kind of sucks because I'm pretty much out of daylight, but oh well. So next day again, I just went to the dealership, picked up the last two pieces that I needed for doing the engine reseal, which is the crankshaft lock bolt, as they call it, and then the woodruff key, because I've been told to change those both out anytime you do a time belt water pump, because obviously with the snub nose 1/6s or short nose, whatever, the issue is the keyway. The bolt backs out a little bit, and I guess it stretches. So playing it safe, new bolt, new keyway, lots of blue Loctite. But yeah, I don't really have too much wiring left to do, so I'm gonna kind of just go get this all loomed up now. It's already pretty much routed where I need it to go, because this stuff has to stay in. These wires here are for, what is this, either or the TPS or whatever the other thing is, and the other thing that's right next to the TPS. This is thermostat, so coolant temp sensor, whatever that is. This is, oh, this goes out here. And then this is for the igniter right here, this plug. So I kind of have to keep this all right here, so that's fine. So really all I gotta do is finish luming this all up right up to this joint, and then just clean up the lume on these pieces. So I don't really need to show you guys that. You kind of get the idea. So I'll go ahead and do that. Come back to you guys in a few hours when it's all done. Going through this, I thought I was gonna have to extend the headlight connector, but I'm gonna just drill out one of these holes right here, so that way, I'm sorry, this is the headlight motor, but yeah, drill out the hole, de-pin the connector, slide the wires through, and then that'll put it somewhere right around here where it can hopefully reach the headlight motor, and that should be okay with that one. As for the headlight one, I don't have to extend this one because this one's extremely long on this side for some reason. So I'm gonna, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to try and de-pin this one or cut it and re-splice it so I can fit it through that hole right there. But yeah, just kind of giving you guys a quick little shot of that. And once I have this all kind of routed, then I'll let you know for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and get the headlight in here in a moment so that way I can really mock it up. And once it's done, I'll show you. So I told you guys I really suck at this de-pinning stuff, but I finally made a little tool. I took a 2mm little, I don't know, small little Husky flathead screwdriver. I just ground it down on my bench grinder, super small and fine point. And now it can actually get in here and get the clips in. So I already took the little locking thing out of this one. If I can grab it. The little lock out of it. And I made a little diagram showing where each of the pins go. So I already started taking this out. So I know it works, but yeah, you basically take that lock out, go from the front, and there's like a little tiny tab in there. So you gotta get in there, pull it up, and pull it out. Just like that. Pretty simple. So now, I should have a good tool to get this all done. Got the wires pushed through, and they're popping out right up here, just enough length for me to hook up the connector to, and this has some slack on it so I can pull it over there. And should function totally normal. Headlight should go up and down without binding in there in any other wiring. And yeah, pretty happy with that. Just ran into another plug I have to extend, which is going to be the AC pressure switch plug, I believe this is. So I already cut the wires, and I'm about to peel them back. I drilled out this hole a little bit so that way I can feed them through there after it's all taped up. And then I got some extra wire here, and it just needs to run under the headlight to right here. So pretty simple, only 2 wires. Let me get this done, and then after that, that should be the extent of the extending. Got the AC lines bolted back in for the most part. I got to tighten down the connections. I did put new O-rings on there, so hopefully I don't have any leaks. Front end is all put together. I got to finish tightening down the bottoms of the fenders and then that top bolt because I don't have room to open the door all the way. But it's all tucked up nice. And the other side as well. So hopefully the headlights should function. Like hopefully it doesn't crush the connector there. If it does, I just gotta kind of mess with my zip tie placement a little bit. But should be okay. My fan switch, maybe you have to pull it out of the way or whatever. But all in all, pretty well done. All that's left to do now is finish looming up this stuff, which is for the engine, and then just re-loom my charge harness because it's all gross and greasy or oily, and bolt in the fuse box again, and everything is copacetic. And then it's gonna be time for the next video, which will be doing the engine. Finally got this thing finished. Check it out. So everything's bolted up. I actually got to tighten down these top bolts still. I won't forget. But this is basically how it's gonna sit. This plug, don't know where it goes. That harness right there, that I have to wait to zip tie to the side till the engine's in, because that all routes on the engine. And then this same stuff, same situation right here. Have to wait till the engine's in so I could route it, and then once it's routed, then I'll re-loom it really quick. That'll only take a few minutes, but overall this is pretty much how it all sits. I know it's not super tucked. I didn't shave it obviously, but compared to what it was, this is a lot better. I've seen some pretty amazing bays in this thing, but that also comes from people who don't have AC, don't have power steering, don't have cruise control, and just go crazy. They don't have any of the climate control under the dash, they don't have the booster, they have soft lines, so all the brake lines, they can tuck those too. I'm not gonna go that crazy with this. This is just gonna be fine for me. I'm gonna try and get my buddy John to come down and help me refill this motor, because that's kind of what he does for a 9 to 5 is assemble engines, and he's had a Mazda before, he's taken it apart a few times. So if anybody knows the motors like he does, or anybody knows the motors, it would be him. So if he can't come by this weekend, then I'm gonna try and figure it out myself. But nonetheless, it'll get done, so be looking out for that. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, and be sure to let me know in the comments down below if you're new to the channel. Hopefully you've considered subscribing, and anyways guys, do what you love, forget about the rest, keep working, stay hydrated, stay sanitized, social distancing. See you later, peace out.